Good morning, everybody. Today we discuss liquid fuel. Liquid fuels, due to their various properties, liquid fuels superior to solid fuel. What are the properties? First, it's very easily available. Second, it's easy to ignite. Then, what are the properties? They have a low flash point, they contain low moisture content, they have lower concentration of sulfur, they have higher calorific value, which makes them efficient fuel. We already discussed the comparative study of solid and liquid fuel in the previous lecture. Then petroleum or crude oil. Petroleum or crude oil is the main or primary source of liquid fuels like gasoline, diesel, kerosene. Then this petroleum is a dark greenish brown viscous oil found deep in the earth crust. Its depth may be vary from 5,000 to 20,000 feet. It is formed millions of years ago by the anaerobic decay of debris of plants and animals which are buried due to the volcanoes under their influence of high temperature and pressure. Organic debris converted into alkanes which on isomerization, cyclization form crude oil. Then mining of petroleum. Petroleum is present below the earth crust at the depth of the about 5 meter to 15,000 meter. We already discussed that its depth may be 5,000 to 20,000. It's depend on the area. The oil is found deep between the impervious rocks floating over brine. It's often associated with the natural gas. Wells are drilled to take out petroleum and natural gas. As soon as well is dug, due to high pressure petroleum rushes out and it's sent kilometers away through the pipeline to the refinery. Sometimes if pressure is not enough, then air pipe is used through which compressed air is sent, which pushes petroleum upward. That is known as axial or coaxial pump. Then the composition of this crude oil, elements which are present in this crude oil: carbon 80 to 87%, hydrogen 11 to 15%, nitrogen 0.4 to 0.9%, oxygen 0.1 to 0.9%, sulfur content 0.1 to 3%, metal which is less than 0.1%. Then if you see the molecular composition, it's alkane, cycloalkanes, aromatics, asphalts, resins. Then we can also classify the petroleum. First is the paraffin based crude petroleum, asphalt based crude petroleum, mixed base crude petroleum or intermediate crude petroleum. Refined petroleum. Petroleum as obtained from the earth has a various impurities which reduces its quality. Thus crude oil is distilled through the fractional distillation or fractional unit process. Various fractions of useful products are separated. This is called refining of oil, and for this purpose various big plants are set up which are called oil refineries. The steps of this refining: first is the separation of water. This separation of water is done through the Cottrell process. Then what's a Cottrell process? The crude petroleum obtained from oil well is in the form of emulsion with water. The emulsion of crude oil is separated from water by allowing the crude oil to flow between two highly charged electrodes. The colloidal water droplets collapse to form a large drops which separate out from the oil. Then if you see the next, that is removal of sulfur. Removal of sulfur, it means what? There is a presence of sulfur in the form of H2S, in the form of sulfur oxide, in the form of sulfur compounds. Presence of sulfur in petroleum forms sulfur dioxide and ultimately H2SO4 or sulfuric acid, which is harmful It means there is a formation of H2SO4, and this H2SO4 is harmful. Sulfur compounds are removed by treating the crude oil with the copper oxide, which results in the formation of solid copper sulfide, which can be removed by the filtration process. It means removal of copper sulfide by the filtration method. Then last is the fractional distillation. Fractional distillation, it means what? After the removal of all these impurities, means after the removal of water, after the removal of sulfur compound, it's sent to the fractional distillation or fractional unit. Then how this fractional unit works? The basic principle of this fractional unit is the vapors of high boiling point compounds first get condensed into the liquid during the stepwise cooling. Then various useful fractions like petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. are obtained by the fractional distillation. You can see the fractional unit. Then how this work? The crude oil is heated in a furnace at about 400 degrees centigrade. When the crude oil is heated at 400 degrees centigrade, liquid is converted into vapors. It means there is a conversion of liquid into vapors. Then these hot vapors sent to the fractional unit. It means hot vapors travel upward through the bubble caps and gradually get cooled. The vapors of organic compounds with high boiling point get condensed in a bubble cap and the liquid deposits on the trays. If we see the fractional distillation, there are number of buffle trays are there. These buffle plates at a short distance, and these trays are provided with the individual chimneys which are covered with the loose cap. As the various hot vapors go upward, fractional condensation takes place at a different height of the column. Higher boiling point fractions condense first, while the lower boiling point fractions condense later. Three most important liquid fuel obtained by the distillation of petroleum. First is the gasoline. Second is kerosene, and third is diesel. If we compare the gasoline, kerosene and diesel, what will the result? Gasoline, it means it's a petrol. This petrol or gasoline is obtained through the fractional distillation of crude oil between 40 to 120 degrees centigrade, and it's a mixture of hydrocarbon pentane C5H12 to octane C8H18. It has 84% carbon, 15% hydrogen and 1% of sulfur, nitrogen and oxygen, and its calorific value is 11250 kilocalorie per kg, which shows the efficiency of petrol. It is highly volatile, inflammable liquid fuel. It used in automobiles for the internal combustion engine. Then Kerosene, it's highly inflammable liquid collected at 180 to 250 degree centigrade. It's mixture of higher hydrocarbons like decane, that is C10 H22 to hexadecane C16 H34, and it has 84% carbon, 16% hydrogen, and less than 0.1% sulfur. Its calorific value is 110 11100 kilocalorie per kg. Then diesel oil, it is fraction obtained between 250 to 320 degrees centigrade. It's a mixture of hydrocarbon of C15H32 to C18H38, and its calorific value is 1100 kilocalorie per kg. You can also see the fractional distillation of petrol. Refining of petroleum. Petroleum is a mixture of many organic compounds. Purification of petroleum and separation of its constituent into useful product is called refining of petroleum. Steps: separation of water, removal of sulfur compounds, then the fractionation. First is the separation of water. Crude oil is a stable mixture of oil and salt water. To separate water, petroleum is flow between two highly charged electrodes where colloidal water droplets collapse to form large drops and separate out from the oil. Removal of sulfur compound. Crude oil is treated with copper oxide where it react and form copper sulfide precipitation which can be removed by the. The higher boiling fractions condense first at the bottom where lower boiling point fractions will consider later near the top of the tower. The 5 outlets in a lower are provided in the side of the column to withdraw a number of fractions. Various fractions are collected at intermediate points depending upon their boiling point. High boiling point fractions getting collected at the bottom can be further subjected to get more useful low boiling point